Welcome to CR370, the final unit of science and technology as part of your degree. So this unit is putting it together, and like common with other units, it's very practical, and you should walk out of this unit with a folio of works that you can utilize in the classroom, and hopefully you've developed those skills, those very practical skills of running science and technology lessons in that. The Moodle Outlook is same as per normal, but I'd like to highlight a few things to you. First of all is our weekly schedule, and in that schedule you'll notice that there is assessment is delivered in class, and you'll be in weeks 3 and 4. So opening up the schedule, what's it look like? Well, we're going to review the curriculum again, retouch on Christian integration, and talk about how we can do concept maps part to do with your assessment. Looking at the pedagogies, and weeks 3 and 4 is actually student-led. So as we look at the assessment, you'll see that you'll have to deliver a illustrative practice of a practical lesson, whether that's in the science or the technology context, and then you'll do that across weeks 3 and 4. Then we'll move on to technology, practical lessons. We want to really equip you so that you can be confident doing those practical lessons, because that's the biggest impediment that I find that teachers talk about. Not really confident with that. We want to make you confident. Unit planning, putting it all together and incorporating assessment. And then the last one is really a workshop, and then you're off to go on PEP. So it's not a complicated schedule that we're dealing with today, but it is something that will equip you. Going to the unit outline now. In the unit outline, normal sort of things at the front end, but the critical things that we're going to be looking at is this. Let's talk about the assessment. Now, this is something different. We are trialing through this unit, and thank you for being those participants of that. Unit engagement. And as I say, it's 15% a free kick. Now, it has got a harder edge to it in the sense that you will not be able to pass the unit unless you attend class for 50% of the time. So it's a turn up. We're a face-to-face institution, and your assessment is delivered, for example, for 2 of those weeks. The second assessment, as I talked about, is you undertake a demonstration. So science, tech or STEAM, and you present that, and you also will be presenting the learning and the concepts and the curriculum linkage behind those things. The last task is a digital folio where you include for a year level Christian resources, STEAM or STEM resources, but also standard resources that you might use if you're teaching this unit, and produce an assessment task relevant to one of those curriculum strands. And that's all. The assessment is over by week 9. Why? Because you're probably, most of you are going on the final prac, and therefore we will leave clear air for you to do that final prac and the subsequent GTPA that falls out of that prac. So there's the summary: 15% for engagement, 35% and 50%. The folio is the larger task that you'll do. Going on to Moodle, you'll see back to Moodle, you'll see this information that is there. In the assessment, it's elaborated quite significantly, going through the task 1 and putting the information that is there. And just move my screen. So how do we measure your engagement? One is through attendance, and one is whether you have looked and engaged with the Moodle or the Articulate site and engage with those, and that'll be ascribed to you. As I say, it's a 15% free kick as far as I'm concerned, and you should look at it that way. The next one is your presentation, where you demonstrate. You have a digital supporting presentation behind it with 3 or 4 PowerPoint slides, and we have some exemplars for you to have a look at, and here's your rubric for that. Similarly for task 3, we have it elaborated here, and it will look like that as a front page for your digital folio, looking at a year level and taking a year level and breaking it into its strands of technology and science, God's big story, and a STEM integration that is there. Goes through those here, and there's also a link to the assessment task. So here's your rubric. So we'll be going through, and we'll have, you might have recalled as we went through the that there was the time in lessons to do workshops and an assessment focus every time. But again, this is all about you engaging in science and technology teaching and becoming out at the end of that and being confident that you can take this into your classroom. For most of you, you'll become what I call fully fledged teachers next year, and we will be looking forward to that, and hopefully that this unit adds to your toolkit of skills across a really important learning areas.